Ooh, what it is, cuz? Back for another video. I'm in my work trailer, my tool trailer. It's a little bit messy. Cleaning up right now. I ain't really cleaning up, moving stuff around. But what I wanted to talk about today is this is my review as an individual of what it's like to be a finished carpenter. So before we get too dark, actually I'm gonna cut the lights on this joint. Cut the lights on in my truck, then I can cut the light on in the trailer. So, reason I was making this video, I'm gonna start talking about more carpentry stuff anyway, because that's what I'm doing anyway. What did I do with my keys? Look at that sunshine, baby. But I saw this guy make this video, and he was talking about what are the coolest blue collar jobs, and like how he ranked them and stuff. And I actually thought his take on it was pretty good. I thought his take was pretty good. I gotta put more tape on this wire. But my issue with his video was that he had all types of, in his video he discussed plumbers, I guess the light don't matter if it's blocked by my chop saw. But he was discussing plumbers, electricians, linemen, welders, and like where he would rank their job as far as like, you know, how much they make, which that's very important, how dangerous the job is. And another category I appreciated that he did was the cool factor of the job. Stop lying to yourself. Some jobs just look cooler than other jobs. They just fucking do. They just do. They just do. Like, they just do. I don't want to go into that. Like, a plumber is important. But I got a homeboy, and he crawl into houses and shit, and have to cut open clogged shit pipes and flush them out, repipe it. I mean, he be charging good for it. But I don't want to go into the house. He a full country boy. He'll chase the snake. We was at this one job, and I'm in the kitchen, demo in the kitchen. He under the house, cleaning out under the house. He come in the house. He go, watch out, grab your hammer. It's a snake crawling through the house. I don't know if it's gonna come up through the kitchen. I ain't no motherfucking snake wrangler, the fuck? That's why that's not a job for me. But he do that. And I don't wanna play in the doo-doo water. I don't like playing in the water at all. So y'all can have all that plumbing. One thing about Homeboy video too was, it seemed like the salary he was discussing was still the base salary of just working for somebody, or working for some sort of company who only agrees to pay you but so much. I'm gonna say most of these trades, if you can learn how to advertise yourself a little bit, you can make double the money of whatever they say the median is for this trade. I'm not gonna doubt that at all, because some of these plumbers will really come to your house and be in there for 2 hours or an hour. That's $175 an hour. What you gonna do? You couldn't flush the boo-boo down the toilet. You gotta pay the man. I mean, it what it is. So, this is my take on being a carpenter. I have been a finished carpenter now for a good part of 12 years now. I was 21 when I met my first teacher. I'm 32. I'll be 33 in about 6 more months. And life flicker me. Y'all can see me enough. You don't need to really see me that much. I'm just in the tool trailers, ladders, and I should probably put that roller away. Some sawhorses, DeWalt toolboxes, table saw, all the good stuff you need to do stuff. You know, this. I made a video. I did a whole video touring my tool trailer. It's a 5x8 cargo trailer. I really got 9 feet down the middle of this joint. Microwave, gotta eat when you at work. I did a whole video about it. You can go watch the video and see my whole tool trailer. So, of course, it done got hot here. Hot. On that's been. I'm like 12 years in now. Over a decade. So, when I started, I guess in order for me to do this video, I gotta give you my whole background of who I is, why I is, and what I did. She did. So, I started at 21. I was like, I knew what a flathead screwdriver was and a Phillips head screwdriver. I didn't know what a drill and the impact was. I didn't know how to read a tape measure. I was always good at math. But, yeah, you know, just incomplete sentences. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he just started teaching me stuff. He was a great worker, awesome teacher. He was a fucking asshole. But that's the blue collar life. It, you know, it used to piss me off, but it's not something like, no more. It's not nothing that really fazed me. I understand it now. And I kind of got to the point that I started snapping on his bitch ass too. Like, fuck out of here, fuck ass bitch. We did a lot of, I guess you say, commercial stuff, a lot of hospital spaces, the office in the hospital, the paneling on the wall in the hospital, the cabinets in the exam room with the countertop, the chair rails in the hospital, benches that in the waiting rooms, all kinds of hospital. We did a lot of hospital work, and we didn't do a lot of residential stuff. I worked for him for probably almost a year. Then I went to a painting company, and they did like paint repairs. It was like bullshit repairs. I learned how to paint. I met some cool people. I learned how to paint. I learned how to like patch siding, fiddly stuff, exterior stuff, residential stuff. I was there for a couple months. Hated that. Like I said, I learned how to paint. And then I went and worked for another cabinet installer who did residential installs. So we did a lot of new construction. Remodel too, but a lot of new construction. And I'm gonna say, you know, I'm gonna try to remember everything dude talked about. So in this line of work as a finished carpenter, I do not have a certificate, so to say, a qualification, an acceptance letter to Hogwarts. I don't got none of that shit. I was hands-on learning. So to me, I'm gonna say, if you get into just like installing kitchens and trim, like a year of consistent work of you actually trying, you could be pretty good and go do some stuff yourself. After like 2 years, 2.5 years, you could be pretty fucking good. Light went out. Like I said, maybe I'll put a whole bunch of big ass captions on the screen because you don't need to fucking see me anyway. You just need to hear what I'm saying. I didn't do a sound check of this video. Let's do that real quick. Alright, the sound check is all good. About 2.5 years as a finished carpenter of you trying. It depends on what kind of things you get into. If you can work with somebody for 2.5 years who's dabbling in commercial stuff and residential stuff, you could really learn a lot. Because let's say you work for somebody and you only do new construction, you gonna have issues here and there, but everything is gonna be pretty straightforward unless the install itself is just complicated. You work in a lot of remodels of these houses built in the 1800s, 1900s. This house is 70 years old. This is my grandpappy house. The house is held up by a tree on one side and a prayer on the other side. Yeah, the floor doing some shit like that. The wall is a snake. It's been patched 17 times. You gonna learn you some shit, whether it's putting in cabinets or trim. And as a finished carpenter, everything you doing is all the shit people want to see. Like if you was a tile guy and you did a shower, like in the kitchen, they looking at the crown. Is your hardware crooked? Is the doors adjusted? Is it a shim under the countertop because your base cabinets is not level? Shit like that. Like people is looking at that shit as a finished carpenter. So you gotta do whatever you can do to make the best ways to make sure all your shit is extra crispy. So you can learn a lot if you actually assert yourself with somebody who can actually teach you something about 2 years, 2.5 years. I think after that is when I really started going on my own. So about 2.5 to 3 years, at that point, I had taught somebody else how to do kitchens. And he got pretty good. He just was unreliable as far as showing up for work. But he got really good. So hope he's doing good now. Good for him. He got some skills. If he can get up and go to work, he can do good. That's another thing that comes with this. Any of these things you do, it's going to be tough days. It's going to be long days. If you want to learn how to do it, if you want to figure out how to make money off of it, you got to get your motherfucking ass up. Fuck, get up. Get up. Get out the bed. Stop staying up all night, playing video games, beating your meat, whatever, drinking. Get up. I like to have a drink every so often. I probably smoke too much weed, but I'm going to get my ass up. That's the difference right there. I'm going to get up, get out, and get something in. So it's about 2 years. You know, a good teacher, you can really learn something. And by then, you should be able to do things where you appreciate seeing what you've done. You go into a house, new construction, remodel, whatever, and it's just blank walls. Some pipes coming out the walls, some wires coming out the walls of the ceiling. And you opening cardboard boxes. And when you leave, it looked like something. You can put silverware in the drawers. You can put plates away. You can set a stove in place and it look like something. It's not just an empty square room or whatever shape it is. That feeling of finishing something to look at is significant. Like you hear some people, like I met an HVAC guy and he was like, yeah, it's cool, whatever, but everything he do is in the walls and under the house and in the ceiling. He don't get to see shit. Like, yeah. Like seeing the fruits of your labor, seeing somebody come in, oh, look at my kitchen, oh, you did a great job. Like, that can be significant for the spirit. That helps the burnout, shall I say. It helps the burnout. Next thing is, we talk about the pay. When I first started, I was making $10 an hour. And when you work for a smaller company, at least in my experience, the more things you can know how to do without somebody being there to hold your hand, the more they can pay you, the more valuable you become. I already did a previous video, how much money you should be making if you're worth the money you think you should be making. So acquire the skills so that your work day is worth you working. So I don't like to use how much people make a year, because I've had so many ups and downs so far. I haven't had good years to really justify what I made. So the best year I've had so far, I grossed $128,000, and I think I took home between $55,000 and $65,000. I took home, something like that. That was like 3 years ago or something. And it's been very challenging since then. So one of the things that made a difference with that was, at the time too, not only did I have my individual clients work going on, laundry room flips, painting rooms, baseboard, working with other small construction companies who are doing additions. So they do an addition, I'm coming in, I do the trim, I do the office cabinets, window trim, baseboard, put the closet shelves in, and then the painter and shit come in, you know, for smaller companies who are subbing, things like that, or even smaller companies who are doing kitchen remodels, but they want a cabinet install specialist like me to come in just do the cabinets, which is what I love. And then, you know, I also got the jobs where I'm doing the whole kitchen. So I'm gonna do the demo, the paint, I might do the drywall, depending on how much it is. Of course, I'm gonna design the kitchen, order the cabinets, and install the cabinets. Yes, I did all of that. After installing for so long, it kind of only makes sense to learn how to design because you know how all the pieces go together. That's something else you can get to get paid for. Whole separate thing, you know. But it take a lot more. I'm always gonna hire a plumber to come hook my sink and dishwasher up. I'm just not doing it. I also learn how to do basic electrical stuff. But if we gotta put a new breaker in, no, I'm calling a Power Ranger. Why am I'm not touching a breaker box? I'll call a Power Ranger. But those jobs add up. So like I said, I might have took about 55, 65 home that year. I also had an employee working for me. He did good for a while, and then he got a new girlfriend, and he didn't do good no more. So that's that. So that's the best I can say for that year. But now I'm at the point, I'm also rebuilding my business as well. I'm from Richmond, Virginia, which is where I learned everything. And I'm now in Tampa, Florida. And it's so much work down here. And they're looking for people like me. And some designers are saying that a lot of these installers suck. They're looking for new designers. And some designers are saying the few good installers they got are just so busy they can't get them on the schedule, or they gotta wait 2 months for them. I ain't mad at nobody who got 2 months worth of work. When I had 2 months worth of work, I loved that shit. I was eating it up. So now I'm in Tampa, Florida. I've started over my business, connected with new companies, with new designers, people who are already selling cabinets. I'm not even at the point where I'm reaching out to individual customers. I am a little bit. I have a few of those, but I'm connecting directly with cabinet companies who are already selling cabinets, already providing cabinets, already drawing everything, and I just show up and do the work. And of course, I've done a couple vanities, done a couple kitchens, and to me, as a finished carpenter who does cabinets specifically, this is where the money is. So, perfect scenario, I have an office coming up. It's like 4 base cabinets and a laminate countertop. It's probably gonna take me about 5 hours. The people I learned from work fast. So I know how to get things fast. I know how to process it. My first teacher taught me how to look at a set of drawings, think about what the drawings do, think about how the pieces go together. Before I start pulling out tools and putting holes and stuff and lining stuff up, how do all these pieces go together? If I do this like this, that's not gonna work. It's gonna be fucked up. So we can't do that. So what other option do I have to make sure that this does not become an issue for this install? So I've already installed the kitchen, the office, the laundry room before I've installed it. And now it's just putting it together, taking some measurements and putting it together. The paper says this filler should be 1 inch. I'm gonna measure it, find my studs. The wall is out of level. I'm gonna make this filler 3/4 instead of 1 inch. The drawings are a suggestion. But that's something you figure out in your training time as well, that the drawings are a suggestion. And the drawings essentially mean this is what it's supposed to look like when it's done. Not this is how you get to that product, but this is what it should look like when it's done. I wonder if I could turn on the night vision thing. I don't know. I don't know how that works. You just can't see me. I just didn't want to be outside and people be all in my conversation. But people be minding their own business, and I need to get to the point where I'm going to make my videos anyway. Because essentially I need to make my videos anyway. So now I've gotten to the point where I'm good enough I can do a whole install by myself. Now, with making the money I tell you that you could potentially make, that I'm potentially making, or I am making at times, I have a work truck that I pay a note on. A lot of people say, if you can save up the money to just pay for your truck, to just pay for your trailer, to just pay for your tools, pay it off and don't owe no money. But sometimes that's not the case. You need to go ahead and get that loan so you can have the tools what you need so that you can get to work and actually make the money come in. I once heard a millionaire say, it's not always about how much money you spend, but it's about how much money you get back. So make the proper investment, which even includes advertising yourself, so that you can get the income to come in. So I got general liability insurance, car insurance, gas, tires every so often, oil changes, all that good shit is now a business owner. You know, if you work for a company or whatever, they might give you a company vehicle, company tools. You're not putting all this up, but that's where you get stuck in at that hourly pay, that $20 to $30 an hour. I don't like getting paid hourly because a lot of times I'm making anywhere between $60 to $150 an hour. So how do I go to somebody's house and say I'm gonna charge you hourly? Sometimes it just depends on the job. I'd rather get paid by the job. So I'm doing an office pays $800. I have a small kitchen coming up. If everything goes as planned, which the kitchen is so small that there's no reason why anything should go as planned. Everything shouldn't go as planned, but I've also never worked with this designer. It's $1,000 in a day. Should take me about 6 hours. Take my time, make sure things good. I'm gonna take about 7-8 hours. Full work day, $1,000. An hour and a half away, so I'm probably spending about $30-40 in gas for the day. Whatever I'm gonna eat, shims, screws, whatever that is. But I've made it to the point that my skill set has allowed me to make an income that's worth it as a self-employed finish carpenter. And maybe that be what the difference is with how these incomes work out. It's a big difference in the self-employed market. It's like the numbers skyrocket. Before I went completely self-employed, I was doing a lot of things on the weekends and even after work. I would work for the paint company. After work, I would go do some job I found on Craigslist, found on Facebook. Somebody knew somebody who called me, all types of shit. And I was doubling my paychecks with the side work. And it'll get to the point where it's like, even if you work 3 days this week on a side work job, you'd make just as much as you made as a full week of your full-time job. So why am I still working this full-time job? And I feel like that's any self-employment business. Why would you keep working this full-time job? The best numbers I can give you on a good week where installs are coming in, I can make $2,500 to $4,000 on a week. Yeah, working 5 to 6 days a week, doing finish work, installing cabinets, install the cabinets, put the hardware on, run the crown molding, adjust the doors, all the shelves, clean up the trash. Yeah, anywhere from $2,500 to $4,000. And some people are making more than that if they're like building custom armoires, custom cabinets, fireplace built-ins, all kinds of shit. It's like, one thing when people talk about carpenters is I feel like the range of type of carpenters is so vast. Because you can talk to a guy, he'd be like, I'm a carpenter, but he's a framer. I'm gonna throw this little side note in. I feel like some jobs, I don't want to say bullshit, but the best answer I got at the moment is bullshit. In the sense of, anybody can do this job. And some people are better at it, but anybody can do it. For example, a painter, a framer, a drywaller, a landscaper, sometimes a nurse, a real estate agent. Some of the most basic dumb people do these jobs. And you can make good money out of either of them. But even with some of the dumbest basic people doing these jobs, there are really good people who do it, and there are not so good people who do it. You might find a real estate agent who they got houses. They work for a company, dumb as a box of rocks, but they can show you houses. Then some of these agents, they on it. They know the market. They know they gonna tell you wait, cause something about to happen. They know the area you want to live in. After you tell them what kind of houses you're looking for, that's all they showing you. They got it on lock. Some landscapers is like that too. Some painters is like that. They gonna come in and paint everything. It's gonna be clean when they done. Not only are the paint lines gonna be clean, you ain't gonna have a bunch of paint in your floor. But not everybody can do that. I don't think finished carpentry is one of those things. You gotta assert yourself at it to be actually good at it. Cause some carpenters who do everything, they can hang cabinets and run trim, but it ain't gonna look like the way I did it. I met a guy the other day, and I'm like, man, you one of the first people I met in a while who's really able to teach me something else. Their kitchens ain't gonna look like his kitchens. It just ain't. But it's levels to all of it. So you can be at the carpentry level and doing bullshit remodels and such and charge $200, make $200 a day, $200 to $500. And you can do something a little nicer and make anywhere between, $700 to $1,500 in a day. To me, $500 in a day is a good day. If I can make $500 a day, I had a good day. And that's really what I like to aim for. So I get some jobs. This job pays $1,500. I really want to finish that job in 2 days. What I mean by 2 days, I'm not counting the hours, I'm counting the days. 2 days mean 2 trips to that job. How far was that job? Is that a whole tank of gas? Is that a half tank of gas? How many meals I'm paying for that day? If I make a 3rd trip, more gas. And 2 days could be, I want to do this in 2 days. This gonna be 2 10-hour days. This gonna be 2 12-hour days. And on the 3rd day, he rested. You see what I did there? You see that one? And that's how some of that work. Or I want to get to another job on the 3rd day, where I'm gonna start another job that pays another $1,500 in 2 days. That's my $3 grand in a week. $500 a day. Wait, what's $500 a day? 5, 10, 15, 20, $2,500. Yeah, I like making $2,500 a week if I work 5 days a week. I really want to make at least, at the moment, I like to make at least $3 grand a week, every week. So I think I've talked enough about money. Next, I want to talk about consistency of work. The consistency of work thing as an independent, self-employed business is really tricky because you have to make these connections. And maybe it goes back to people say, your net worth is your net work. How many people suggest how much money you're gonna make. And I don't want to say yes to that, but I definitely can't say no to that. So you got to connect with the people. If you connect with enough people know what you can do and feel comfortable calling you for a job. No, they call me, they be like, I know if I call Hans, like I send him the plans, everything there, he gonna be good. If he got a question, he not gonna be scared to call me, ask me a question, but I know it's not nothing I'm gonna be worried about. I know it's gonna be taken care of. You got somebody like me who does a good job, people wanna call you. I'm booked next week, the week after, the week after. That's how you be booked 2 weeks out. You don't know enough people, you only working with one company. Like I just had 2 weeks where I ain't making no money for 2 weeks. That hurt a lot. And then everybody wanted to call me at the same time. And we back to $3 grand a week. I'm mad, but I'm learning. You gotta connect with the right people. So at the moment, luckily, I'm connected with a company. They have like 11 designers or something. They have multiple locations. They done just contacted me from the other location because the first location told them about me. Yeah, let's do it. I mean, let's get on the schedule. What we talking about? Send the email. Okay, I was there yesterday. I'm waiting for you to deliver the cabinets. It's your dig. But you got to connect with the people, even connecting with the small construction companies. If you connect with a good small construction company, a lot of times, at least for me, kitchens can be a problem. People think because they put in a couple kitchens that they know how to lay out kitchens, but they really don't. So I even tell, especially small construction companies, let me come measure the kitchen. Even if you don't order the cabinets from me, let me draw it and tell you what to order so that when I come install it, I know it works. Not whoever you had from one of these big box stores, especially Lowe's and Home Depot. Jeez. And they come and they just draw something up because it looks good on the computer, but it don't really work in real life. And your doors are rubbing on the wall, and your stove doesn't fit, and your fridge doesn't fit. Why not call the person who does this, who understands how this works? So you got to connect with them people, and that's for any business. That's why people be using these Facebook ads, Google ads, Facebook Marketplace. People got to know you there. And one thing I am a firm believer of is whatever you do, you can make money in it. But you have to do it long enough, well enough, for enough people to find out who you are and want to call you for that job. So that's the aspect of having continuous work. This video is about to be long, and I did not mean for it to. My bad. I ain't even high today. I'm just talking. Next, one thing dude had in his video, he was talking about the cool factor of a job. He was saying how he thought welders, like, it was cool to be a welder. I ain't gonna hold you. If I wasn't a woodworker, I would love to be a welder. Welders are cool. What they do is cool. When he told me how much they made, I was actually very surprised, but I guess it still depends on what kind of welding you're doing. And then if you become a small independent welder and I don't know what you're doing, it's metal and all types of things, cars, structural frames, trailers. You could be a mixture of a mechanic and be a welder and fix people's trailers. I know, can you fix the frame of cars with welding? I don't know. I'm a woodworker. I'm not a mechanic or a welder, but welding is cool. So I think finished carpentry is cool. Motherfucker can frame a house, and yeah, the house is standing, but all the framing is covered up. Drywall is not cool. Electrical can be cool, depending on what you're doing. Painting could be cool. But when I go in and be like, I did this accent wall, I did wainscoting down your staircase, I designed your kitchen, ordered it, and installed it, and you get to feed your family there now. To me, that's fucking cool. I think it's cool. People tell me I did a good job and they're happy that they got a kitchen again. That comment is cool. It might be the same thing for flooring guys. You got a rough floor, you got an old floor, you take it up, whatever, lay some new floor, then you get to walk on the floor you did, and that joint, it look good, it's pretty. Flooring could be cool. Flooring is vicious on the body. Ooh. Ooh. All right, well, let's get to the next point. Since we did the cool factor, he was talking about what's the wear and tear on the body. It can be rough. Cabinets are not light. You can't be a bitch. You need to toughen up. It's heavy. It's heavy. You might be part of unloading the truck. You might just gotta move a cabinet from one side of the room to the other side of the room. It's heavy. And most of the time I'm working by myself. It's heavy. Working by yourself will make you very creative on how you move things, how you do things, how you lift things, how you hold them in place above your head. It'll make you very creative. But you can't be a bitch. Some things just take brute strength. Like it, you will have to muscle it out. It can be rough. So I try to, when I'm feeling up for it, to be honest with you, stay in shape as best I can, because it just makes it so much easier to perform at work. The better shape I'm in, the better I'm gonna perform. Sometimes you got a job where you're going up and down the stairs. You're not in good shape, them stairs gonna kill you before you even get to do the job. The stairs is not gonna bother me. I'm gonna keep it moving, let's go. It is what it is. But do I love a house on the first floor? A dig. It can be rough on the body. You standing up, you bending over, you squatting, you on your knees. All of them. I wear knee pads, protect my knees. When I'm leveling base cabinets, screwing them together. I have a back brace. I probably should wear it more, but it can be rough. So, are there any other points I wanted to get to in this video? Let me think. Thinking. D. I don't think so. I think I've made all the points I wanted to make. So in conclusion, to summarize all this bullshit I'm talking about, do I like being a finished carpenter? Out of a lot of things I think I could do, let me think of what else I could probably do. I could probably be a welder. I could probably be an auto mechanic. I do like being a finished carpenter. I do like seeing what I've done. I do like it. A lot of things in construction can transfer you into being a general contractor in general, which can be good, which can be bad. But you win some, you lose some, you learn every time. But I like being a finished carpenter. As a finished carpenter, I get to see how a lot of things work. And even when I step out of my lane, it tends to be pretty easy for me to figure things out that I'm not accustomed to. And that's why I say just being a finished carpenter, you just can't be stupid. I like the money I make when I'm making the right connections. In business, some people will try to hold you in general. Don't let people hold you. I've been held before. It happens. You learn. You play the game. Would I recommend people being a finished carpenter? Out of all the blue collar things you can do, if you have patience, especially if you OCD and you got some brains, yes. If you don't have as much brains, there's other carpentry things you can do. But yes, I work indoors. A lot of times I gotta cut outside. My table saw, my chop saw is outside. Depending on what kind of house I'm at, I can cut inside. But yes, if you can be patient, if you can learn, if you can problem solve, yes, be a finished carpenter. Should you work for yourself and do it? Can you connect with people? That would be the difference in that. I don't like connecting with people, but I can do it. I know how to switch hats, know how to play the game. It come with what I wanted out of life. I wanted to be my own boss. I don't like people telling me what to do. I want you to show me a job and we agree to the terms and conditions. I don't want to see a job and be like, this all I'm gonna pay you for it. And I'm be like, it's still gonna take me 2 days. You could pay me $20 an hour, so I'm gonna make like $200, $300. Or I can own everything and make $1,500. Everything got its pros and cons. So what else can I say? I enjoy my work as a finished carpenter. Aside from the work, there are other things that come with it that is bullshit. But that's all jobs. I do think this can be, a lot of blue collar shit is a young man's game. But some people stay in the game for quite long. That's not my plan. But I am in a lane that allows me to stay in a little longer than probably a framer, than probably a concrete guy, than probably a bricklayer. I don't know, but I've never done none of those jobs, so I can't really compare them. I can only see what little bit I've been involved in and witnessed and talked to them. I like using my saw. I can't see in the dark. I like cutting crown molding. I think it's fly as fuck. I like putting together kitchens. It's like a puzzle. I like puzzles. I like Legos. I'm a nerd. I'm OCD. It's working out for me. I found a way to make good money off of it. I rate being a finished carpenter out of 5 stars. I'm gonna rate it like a 4.5. What would be a 5-star job? I don't know. I was thinking when I get to be a rapper, but I don't want to politic with none of them people either. I would just make music and live in my basement and just make music. I wouldn't want to go do shows or nothing like that. I just want to make music that people enjoy. And I guess that's kind of how I feel with this finished carpentry, with working with designers and companies. You go talk to the people, you design it, you figure it out. I just get to show up and do the work by myself, cut my music on. I'm done, I send you the bill. So I don't have a lot of complaints. I have more business complaints than I have complaints of being a carpenter, a finished carpenter specifically. So without making this video way too motherfucking long, because it's already too motherfucking long, that's gonna be the end of that. You know, the regular thing, how we do it. Got your At Your Mama House shirts. I might have to flip this video so you can see it. I'm probably gonna forget to flip the video. Who cares? You've seen the shirt before. I need to fix my website anyway, so that doesn't matter. But the most important thing is to stay safe and stay dangerous. You dig?